Please give us some examples of the work you've done with some of your patients. Do you have any interesting situations where healing happened faster because of this holistic approach, or some insights of how some of the heart issues, for example, slowly disappear due to this approach, or on the contrary, when maybe things didn't work out as planned? Because that's also quite a good learning point, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So I was saying earlier that a lot of times when people are showing up in my office with heart problems, they're there. And what's really happening, even though it's not really being seen or felt, is that it's actually their hearts asking them to come back to themselves. That's really what's happening. And it's really important to, what I do is, okay, we take care of the problem, of course. We got to take care of whatever the heart issue is. We take care of that. But then we don't want to just focus on that, external fixing. We want to bring then the attention and the focus inward. What is the deeper message? So for instance, I'll give you an example of a patient that I saw in the office, not too long ago. I had seen this patient. He came in just heart racing episodes. He was having these arrhythmias, having high blood pressure, just all these things that were happening with heart rhythm and on high blood pressure and, diabetes and, seeking, what's going on. So I took care of all the physical problems. And then after that, after we took care and figured out, okay, what needs to be done for this and what are the tests and what are some of the medications we consider, then I really had, and I can feel into people how ready they are to receive, I can feel that. So then what I do is I always open up the conversation to, number one, how can we, have a heart healthy life? And very, like I was saying earlier, so important is just how we honor our bodies. What are we exercising? What are we eating? Are we eating nutritious food like, green stuff, or are we eating inflammatory food, which is like all the processed food? But then there is something that, we felt into, that I helped him to explore, that really his heart was asking, which is, this particular patient is so busy doing everything for everyone. There was really never a moment for him. He never took any time for himself. Everything was about everyone else. So he was running on this treadmill, trying to do everything for everyone, but meanwhile, completely empty and depleted inside. So that was basically that was like the heart expressing the stress that was being felt, because that lack of him really honoring himself and honoring his heart and like really taking and care, that self-care. So then my recommendation and our discussion is how important it was to put ourselves first, not last. A lot of times, I'll get to me if I get to at the end of my task list. And so we had to have a paradigm shift, and really you are number one. So what does that mean? What does it mean when we make ourselves number one? And so then all these things that happen about the self-care and honoring and taking time for self, meditating, emotional exploring, journaling, and all of those things that had to happen. And it was so interesting because he actually took all my advice and all of that to his heart. And when he came back a few weeks later, what was interesting is that his blood pressure had completely normalized. So we completely got him off all the blood pressure medications. All the palpitations that were happening before completely went away. And this nervousness, he had lost weight, like 10 pounds weight. And this nervousness, this anxiety that he was experiencing really was just the incessant mind speaking and the belief. He brought himself into this himself. He brought himself into his heart. He had created these, habits, because we have to create those healthy habits. And he was literally crying. Here's a man just crying, saying, oh my God, I have my life back. I have myself back. And now he had instituted all these practices in his day that was there to basically honor himself and honor his life. And that's just one example of something that, we experienced recently.